Coming up on Valley View News, CSUN cancels its big show, but the cancellation is not what has students upset. Plus, find out why some protesters want District Attorney Jackie Lacey out of office. And Valley Representative U.S. Congressman Adam Schiff says they're going forward with President Trump's impeachment investigation.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Timothy Tien.
And I'm Lisa Rodriguez.
This year's CSUN Big Show is canceled due to a scheduling conflict with rapper 2 Chainz. The annual music festival was set for this Saturday, October 5th, in front of the Oviatt Library. The Associated students tried to find a replacement artist at the last minute, but it decided to cancel the show instead. Some CSUN students who did not want to be on camera are disappointed.
Everybody was excited for 2 Chainz. We were all ready, just to relax a little bit, relieve the stress from school. It turned out that it was canceled, so I wasn't psyched about that. It really wasn't our fault that they couldn't get someone who can perform and not pretty much flake.
I feel like they should send an email so everyone can get their money back instead of trying to profit off of something that's not.
The event preparation takes 2 months, yet students only have 2 weeks to get a full refund. Big Show refunds are available from now until October 7th at 6 p.m. at the AS ticket office. This is the first time in 18 years CSUN does not host the Big Show.
A van hit 3 people in Oxnard Monday morning. An 8-year-old boy died, a 9-year-old girl, and a woman were seriously injured. The driver stayed at the scene. Police are continuing to investigate what happened.
The Los Angeles Public Library's 5th installment of Drag Queens Story Hour took place at its Eagle Rock location. DQSH has drag queens reading stories to children in libraries, schools, and bookstores. The event gives kids glamorous, positive, and unabashedly queer role models. Dozens of kids gathered around and listened to drag queen Pickle read stories promoting themes of love, self-expression, and acceptance. Pickle has been with Drag Queen Story Hour for 2.5 years. He told Eyewitness News the program is all about joy and reading. He believes the program can teach children empathy and being comfortable in their own skin. The children's librarian at the branch says there's been growing popularity for the program, so they'll continue to host Drag Queen Story Hour.
LA unveiled a new statue Sunday. The 19-foot-tall structure features a Mexican migrant and his family. The statue is the first monument honoring migrants known as braceros. The monument can be found on Alvera Street in downtown LA.
It's been a few days since the video of a mysterious subway singer went viral. Emily Zamorka touched thousands of people on social media with her singing, and she hasn't even been classically trained. She is a trained violinist and pianist who played on the street, but serious health issues and a thief stealing her violin left her homeless. Zamorka says she was surprised to learn about all the social media attention she's getting.
That's when I became homeless, when I could not actually pay any of my bills and could not pay any more of my rent.
Zamorka says she hopes she'll be able to work in music again.
The organization Black Lives Matter vows to remain passionately opposed to police brutality and police killings. Local members of the group are playing their part in that vow, as Elena Tovar reports from City Hall.
101 weeks of protesting, more than 540 murders, and many prayers. Every Wednesday, the Black Lives Matter group comes together at the Hall of Justice to remember the lives lost to police brutality. They want District Attorney Jackie Lacey out of office.
New DA for 2020! New DA for 2020!
The group believes DA Lacey uses police with histories of misconduct, dishonesty, and racism to persecute the LA community. They want the city to stop hiring bad cops. Amari Shakur of Black Lives Matter says he's angry no one's taking action.
It's happening every day in our communities. Our people are being murdered in cold blood, and they keep getting away with it.
Alyssa Papyrus has been with Black Lives Matter for a year. She thinks raising her voice is very important.
I just, as a white person, understanding white privilege and being able to say that and understanding that it's not a dirty term, it's just my reality, that it's my moral obligation to do something, to show up.
For African American men, the leading cause of death is getting shot by police. This group at the Hall of Justice says it's committed to fighting for those killed by police.
We must love and protect one another!
The Black Lives Matter group are all supporters of social justice and hope other politicians will hear them out as well. One thing is clear though, they all want change to happen. In Los Angeles, for Valley View News, I'm Elena Tovar.
A 2-year-old girl died in Carson after being left in a car for 5 hours. The heater was on, the windows were rolled up. Meanwhile, police say her mother left to drink nearby with a friend. The mom came back to the car and found the child unresponsive. She attempted to cool her baby down, but paramedics say the child had a 107.5 degree temperature before she died. The mother hasn't been arrested.
A Marina del Rey Little League facility was vandalized last weekend. A team volunteer said there was a homeless encampment in one of the dugouts the night before. When they returned the next morning, everything was destroyed. Team volunteers will now use the money they saved for equipment to make repairs.
A small plane crashed onto Highway 99 in Modesto Friday. The plane caught fire after landing. The 57-year-old pilot is a man from Santa Cruz. He was the only one on board and wasn't injured. No other vehicles were involved in the crash.
The 12-year-old girl who claimed 3 classmates forcibly cut off her dreadlocks admitted she lied. Amari Allen's family filed a police report after Allen made the allegation. The Emmanuel Christian School put out a statement saying Allen admitted the allegations were false. Allen's family apologized to everyone involved. The Fairfax County NAACP says this instance of lying shouldn't be used to discount other racially motivated crimes.
A New York City police officer was fatally shot Sunday after being hit by friendly fire.
Officer Mulkeen is on the ground wrestling with the suspect for an extended period of time. He's yelling, he's reaching for it, he's reaching for it. On the ground, shots are fired.
Brian Mulkeen was part of an anti-gang patrol in the Bronx. The suspect also died on scene, but his firearm didn't go off. It was actually Mulkeen's partner who shot him twice. Mulkeen later died in the hospital.
The Democratic-led Congress is moving forward with its impeachment investigation process. Valley View's Scott Gierman reports that the congressman in charge of the probe is from the San Fernando Valley.
The impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump is moving forward. The lead congressional investigator, Adam Schiff, represents Burbank in the Valley. Schiff heads the House Intelligence Committee, and he said the whistleblower will soon testify before his committee. Schiff says full cooperation is needed.
All that needs to be done at this point is to make sure that the attorneys that represent the whistleblower get the clearances that they need to be able to accompany the whistleblower to testimony.
Schiff says there will be no interference with the expected testimony, but President Trump tweeted out his opposition to the process. He called the whistleblower a spy and an operative. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham questioned the inquiry on CBS's Face the Nation.
This whole thing is a sham. I can't believe we're talking about impeaching the president based on an accusation based on hearsay. Who is this whistleblower?
The current political climate in Washington, D.C. adds pressure on Capitol Hill, but here at CSUN, some students and professors understand the importance of the impeachment inquiry. CSUN professor Dr. Alexandrea explains.
If you respect the Constitution and respect the fact that we have co-equal branches of government, you should support Congress's ability to engage in impeachment.
Some Democrats think Trump betrayed his oath of office by asking a foreign power to benefit his personal interests. For Valley View News, I'm Scott Gierman.
President Donald Trump tweeted about his anger with the person known as the whistleblower. He tweeted Sunday that he has a right to meet the whistleblower. He also wants to meet the person who gave the whistleblower what the president calls incorrect information. Trump said big consequences would come for spying on the president. Nevertheless, the impeachment inquiry continues against the president.
Former U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton says North Korea does not plan to give up their nuclear weapons. Bolton says North Korea benefits from the standoff with Washington. He goes on to criticize President Trump. Bolton says Kim Jong-un will never give up his weapons voluntarily. Nuclear weapon negotiations between the two countries are at a standstill because the two leaders failed to meet back in February.
A surprise snowfall is burying homes across the Rockies. Montana's governor declared a winter emergency Sunday, even though it's still fall. As much as 40 inches of snow blocked roadways and buried homes in several western states. The Montana snowfall broke a century-long record.
Record low temperatures, hail, and a tornado hit Davis, California last weekend. A tornado happened east of Highway 101 and Highway 27 Saturday night. No injuries were reported.
Anna, what do you have to tell us about the world of entertainment?
There's a lot going on right now, Timothy. The box office raked in millions this weekend. The movies include Abominable, Downton Abbey, and Hustlers. Abominable, the family movie starring a cute and friendly Yeti, was in first place, making around $21 million. Downton Abbey was second, making $14 million, while Hustlers was third, earning $11 million. These movies are expected to stay at the top this coming weekend. And Mexican singer José José, known as El Príncipe de la Canción, died at the age of 71 Saturday. The Mexican Artists Association, ANDI, broke the sad news on Twitter. The association confirmed that José José died of pancreatic cancer at a hospital in South Florida. He was one of the top Latin singers in the 70s. He was also very popular for his roles in Mexican telenovelas. Some of his fans want to view the body, but the family hasn't allowed that to happen. And Robert De Niro is getting a lot of backlash for his anti-President Trump statements. CNN's Brian Shelter interviewed De Niro on the show Reliable Sources.
I don't know. I think he's crazy in a way. Part of him is just crazy.
Do you mean in a medical sense? Because that gets criticized pretty quickly.
Possibly medically too.
Fox News criticized De Niro for saying that Trump shouldn't be a president and for cursing multiple times. But this isn't the only time De Niro expressed his opinion about Trump. He criticized Trump during several public events and interviews. And actress Stacey Dash was arrested for domestic battery in Florida Sunday. Police say Dash was charged for pushing and slapping her new husband Jeffrey Marty during an argument. But there are reports that she was defending herself against him. Police say Marty had scratches on his upper left arm. Dash was arrested in Land O'Lakes. She's known for her role in the teenage romance movie Clueless. An American heavy metal band, Metallica, said they're canceling their latest tour. The decision comes after lead singer and guitarist James Hetfield joined an addiction treatment program. Other members took the news to the band's Instagram, saying they were devastated. The band wants to continue the tour as soon as Hetfield's health improves. The tour was canceled for Australia and New Zealand. And Oprah Winfrey donated more than $1 million to help minority students. The United Negro College Fund held its 70th annual Maya Angelou Women Who Lead luncheon. Oprah was one of the main speakers. The donated money goes to the students in North Carolina and historically black colleges and universities. Senator Kamala Harris approves of SNL's Maya Rudolph parody of her in a skit about CNN's presidential debate. She says the performance was spot on.
And I mean, my God, to be played by Maya Rudolph, are you kidding me? It was great. It was very funny. She's great. Look, she can give me pointers. She was great. She had it down. She was amazing.
The SNL skit joked about Harris overseeing almost 2,000 marijuana convictions and addressing herself in third person during debates. Other Democratic politicians like Beto O'Rourke, Andrew Yang, Bernie Sanders, and Cory Booker were also parodied. That's all for entertainment. I'm Ana Ramos. Let's go back to you, Timothy.
More to come on Valley View News as Hong Kong protests continue and police spray them with blue dye.
And CVS suspends the sale of Zantac after FDA raised concerns about the product.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
For a look into this week's headlines, here's Sundial's Andrea Esparza.
This past week marked the 50th anniversary of the EOP program.
We told the stories of students' lives who were affected in a positive way by the EOP program. Our upcoming issue focuses on the world of athletics. As video editor, I will be releasing a video in which follows a female student athlete throughout her day. We also will be talking about the current status of the Fair Pay to Play Act. Don't forget to pick up our issue this Wednesday and check out our online content. Back to you, Timothy.
Let's hear from Itietsi Angeles in our Digital Media Center with the latest headlines from around the globe.
Hong Kong protesters were attacked by police last weekend. Police sprayed hundreds of them with blue dye from a water cannon. The attack started 17 weekends ago after Hong Kong instituted an extradition bill allowing officials to detain and extradite fugitives to China. The law was later reversed, but the protest against heavy-handed Chinese government influence continues. Meanwhile, police say they are concerned for the public safety since violence has increased over time. This week is the 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China. A parade and banquet was thrown on the eve of the anniversary last weekend in Hong Kong. Angry demonstrators protested what they say is a slow erosion of Hong Kong's democratic freedoms. The violence between police and protesters has escalated in the past 17 weeks. Some protest leaders claim there won't be protests or violence in Hong Kong during the holiday. Saudi Arabian Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman took full responsibility for the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Khashoggi was killed and dismembered last October inside the Saudi consulate in Turkey. Bin Salman denied any personal involvement with the murder. He called it a wicked crime, but as a leader, he takes full responsibility, mainly because the crime was committed by officials working for the Saudi government. Though the prince says he wasn't involved, a United Nations investigator released a report last June with information linking the prince to Khashoggi's death. More than 100 people have died from flooding in two Indian states, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The National Disaster Management Chief says thousands were evacuated. Officials say it's the worst flooding in decades. Schools were closed and boats were used to rescue residents. Some people complain that aid isn't coming fast enough, but government officials say they are doing everything they can to rescue everyone. A multi-million-dollar car collection was auctioned off in Switzerland Sunday. The luxury supercars were seized in a 2016 corruption probe in Equatorial Guinea. They were allegedly being used to launder money through government programs. 25 cars were sold, the most valuable one, a Lamborghini Veneno, sold for more than $8 million. That is all for international news. Now back to you in the studio.
Governor Gavin Newsom signed the California Fair Pay to Play Act. Newsom claims the law will adjust the balance of power in NCAA college sports.
It's going to initiate dozens of other states to introduce similar legislation, and it's going to change college sports for the better by having now the interests, finally, of the athletes.
NCAA officials oppose the bill, but now say they'll adjust to the new rules. The law takes effect in 2023. It lets college athletes hire agents and make money from endorsements. Newsom thinks other states will soon do the same.
Lincoln High School's basketball teams in Los Angeles is taking the term student athlete to heart. Valley View News reporter Ricardo Sandoval explains.
The Lincoln High School basketball program is dedicated to helping its student athletes beyond the court. Fedna Pierre-Louis seeks to create an environment that emphasizes education, so he makes sure they tutor and learn together.
Learn to support one another and just builds team. We do everything together, so it just really helps to build a concept of team for us.
Lincoln's junior varsity head coach Thomas Irwin is a big supporter of the school's academic culture. He says it's important to honor student athletes who get good grades. He loves how the students set high standards for themselves.
By tutoring as a team, it reinforces the message that we are all in this together, right? Guys who are doing well can set a good example for guys who maybe are struggling. Guys who are struggling can go ask help of guys who are doing well.
The love and togetherness that Lincoln's basketball program has is like no other. These student athletes care for one another and their coaches. The effect these coaches have on their kids beyond basketball is phenomenal. It's a pleasure to witness.
My coaches are always
looking out for me. Like if I ever needed something, I know they'll be there for me. Or if I'm struggling or something, they'll keep me in check. So yeah, I think they do care.
The Lincoln Tigers are focused on capturing the city title and expanding their education as a team. In Lincoln Heights, I'm Ricardo Sandoval from Valley View News.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that humans are easily infected by animals. A new CDC report shows that a 77-year-old man hunting deer caught tuberculosis through an infected deer. Reports say he might have inhaled infectious pathogens while removing the deer's organs. Though bovine tuberculosis and human tuberculosis are two different infections, they share similar symptoms. The CDC says anyone who works closely with animals or consumes dairy products is at risk. It recommends people make sure all products they consume are pasteurized.
CVS has stopped selling Zantac as well as its generic brand versions. The pharmacy says they've halted the sale of heartburn medication over health concerns, mainly because the medication contains nitrosamine. It's an impurity known as NDMA and is linked to cancer. Numerous recalls for the medication have been made since the FDA found high levels of NDMA. The FDA has not recommended people stop using Zantac, but CVS says customers who have already bought Zantac can get refunds.
Pharmacists in an English countryside are producing cannabis-based medicine for people with epilepsy. The drug can help treat two rare types of epilepsy. The head manufacturer says the process has been difficult. The director of the Autism and Obsessive Compulsive Spectrum program hopes the medicine can treat autism symptoms since it's been successful in lowering seizures. Epilepsy and autism both share similar behavioral symptoms. At the moment, there isn't a cure for autism. Meanwhile, Washington State is banning flavored vaping products. Governor Jay Inslee says he won't wait for the tobacco industry to determine the risk of vaping.
We won't trust them with our health. We won't trust them with our children's health. Their interest is in making money. Our interest is in protecting the health of our children. We are interested in ensuring that adults and young people have known and regulated ingredients in these products and have information about them.
Inslee's executive order will ban all flavored vaping products, including THC products. He hopes the State Board of Health will vote on his executive order on October 9th. Coming up on Valley View News, a man finds a missing iPhone in the ocean.
Also, scientists may have saved avocados from climate change. Stay with us.
Here's Valley View's Luis Zuniga with social media and tech. Tell us more, Luis.
Thank you, Luisa. CEO Elon Musk talked about SpaceX's newest innovation in Texas Saturday night. The invention is called the Starship. The Starship is a large vehicle that could possibly carry people into space, land safely back on Earth, and be fit to turn around and fly again. He says he hopes to reach orbit in less than 6 months. Since its founding in 2002, SpaceX has been working towards making space travel possible, cheaper, and accessible to space travelers. Massachusetts vape shop owners are suing state officials for banning the sales of vaping products. The suit alleges that state officials failed to properly follow state law. The lawsuit says the government didn't provide findings to support a health emergency. Governor Charlie Baker blocked the sale of vaping products last Wednesday. The ban was ratified by the Massachusetts Public Health Council and will last until January of 2020. Forever 21 filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The once booming clothing store plans to close between 300 to 350 stores globally. This includes up to 178 stores in the U.S. The filing follows an increase in online shopping, which has steered customers away from shopping centers. The company says a significant number of their stores in major U.S. markets will remain open. Residents from El Sereno can now buy clothing instead of leaving to other places. Valley View News reporter Alfonso Larry spoke with a store owner about his journey.
El Sereno has a new business in town, and it's not a discount store. Nickel and Dime is the first streetwear boutique to hit town. The store began with a friendship and ideas, launched behind Maverick Social Club, a local tattoo shop. Owner Alan Idolante created a store that sells individual brands.
We had a brand already, like let's just start a store we could sell our brands out of.
Nickel and Dime has a wide selection of brands and items.
We sell a lot of our brands, such as Foreground. I sell rollerblades. My buddy has a rollerblade company called Them Skates. G-Body Wear, Pack Leaders, which is also a home brand.
Brian Arguerta, the owner of the company Foreground, started his art after high school with a group of friends. Using different styles helped his brand.
We decided to kind of create this brand. It was more of like a crew, but we ended up making it our brand, and we came up with the name Foreground all as a collective, just sharing our skills.
Brian plans to release new items for Foreground this fall.
People want to stand out, and that's what I want my art to do, is stand out because of nice color complements and stuff.
Meanwhile, Nickel and Dime plans to expand, but there's not a rush at the moment.
Right now, we just want to build what we have here. So in the future, maybe we could get a spot like Fairfax or somewhere out there.
Now the people of El Sereno will have an option to buy streetwear in their neighborhood. Nickel and Dime is in their second week of business, and they're optimistic about their future. Reporting from El Sereno, Alfonso Larry for Valley View News.
Scientists in the U.S. and Mexico may have found a way to save fruits and vegetables from dying. The scientists have altered the DNA of avocados. The move aims to help the fruit survive the effects of climate change. Last month, a team of scientists announced that it managed to map the DNA of several types of avocados. The research is likely to become the foundation for breeding techniques and genetic modifications of other fruits and vegetables. A California judge ruled that Tesla violated labor laws by threatening employees who tried unionizing. The judge says the acts violated the National Labor Act in 2017 and 2018. The violations include a 2018 tweet by Musk, which the judge says threatened employees with loss of stock options if they vote in favor of the union. Tesla will have to hold meetings with workers to explain their rights. CEO Elon Musk or his agent must attend the meeting. Social media has shown its power once again. A Florida man was reunited with his iPhone after losing it a year ago while at sea. Marshall Sklar was diving for lobsters off Florida's coast, but to his surprise, he caught something else 40 meters below water. An iPhone and no owner around to claim it. He says the only clue he had to return it was a license.
And behind the case, there was a fishing license. And the fishing license was in pristine condition.
Sklar took to Facebook asking if anyone knew the owner of the iPhone. 3 weeks later, two men met. Carmen Miranda says he only had the iPhone for 2 weeks before losing it. He plans to keep it as a memento. Boeing redesigned its 737 MAX passenger jet after 2 fatal crashes that killed 346 people. The new aircraft will be built without key safeguards. It's meant to function more like the military version of the MCAS. It will use data from 2 angles for the attack, sensors rather than the one that it previously had. The planes were designed differently due to the size difference, weight distribution, and the missions it will be used for. That's all for social media and tech news. Timothy, back to you.
It's National Chewing Gum Day. You can celebrate by buying a pack of chewing gum and using the hashtag Chewing Gum Day on social media. Today celebrates our 5,000-year history of chewing gum. Interestingly enough, a British archaeology student was the one who discovered the current oldest piece of chewing gum in Finland. That's all for us at Valley View News. Thank you for watching. I'm Timothy Tien.
And I'm Lisa Rodriguez. For news any time of day, go to our website sundial.csun.edu. See you next week.